Hello, I'm Christina Hartman, and I did my project by myself. I decided to do a soccer kick as my skill, like when a soccer player kicks a free kick or takes a penalty kick. I wanted to try to teach a beginner how to kick a ball 40 feet. I wanted to base it off where the ball landed, not where it rolled to. The reason why I chose 40 feet is because I'm not very good at soccer, so I kind of thought that 40 feet was far enough to try to get a beginner to kick. When I first filmed Chantal kicking the ball, in all 10 trials, she didn't make it to the cone, which is 40 feet, which isn't that far for some people, but since she's a beginner, I didn't really expect her to make it that far. There were several things that were wrong with this particular trial. One of them was that she didn't take a running start to the kick. Another is that she kicked it off the inside of her foot, more like you would in a pass in soccer. When you want to kick for distance, you want to kick more on the laces of your foot or of your shoe. When she kicked the ball, her kicking leg landed in front of her planted leg, so it didn't do much for her stability. Also, she didn't really extend her leg before she kicked it, so there wasn't much force to be applied to the kick itself. And she didn't follow through, she just kind of like swung her foot and hit the ball. Two key elements that I found for the preparatory phase was having a running start. Anytime you need to put force into something, you have to have adequate momentum. Momentum can occur with some sort of velocity, without some sort of velocity. So in order for the ball to maintain the desired distance, in this case 40 feet, Chantal had to be able to have an adequate amount of momentum. Another key element in the preparatory phase is I wanted her to learn how to extend her leg backwards, the kicking leg backwards before she kicked the ball. Extending the kicking leg backwards, it helps to build up strain energy in the quadricep muscles, and this in turn produces more force when the leg returns to its original position. One of the key elements in the force phase of kicking a ball is to try and kick the ball a little bit above the center of the ball. This in turn creates topspin, which is helpful in soccer because it causes the ball to move in an arc motion. This is due to the high pressure above the ball and low pressure below the ball. While it's rotating, the air is passing by it. Another key element in the force phase is to have your arms up while kicking the ball. Your arms provide a lot of stability that is lost due to the angular velocity of the leg. One key element of the follow-through phase is to keep your leg going in an upward motion instead of stopping it once you kick the ball. This allows for the momentum to continue through the ball and the ball can be kicked farther. Another key element for the follow-through phase is to land on your kicking foot after you have kicked the ball. This provides for stability after losing stability while you're running. The three errors that Chantal committed while kicking the soccer ball were as follows in order of importance. The first was where she placed her foot. When an athlete is doing a running start to anything, they lose stability because of the flight phase in running. So in order to regain stability, she must place her foot about 6 inches from the ball so that it helps with the angular momentum of her leg. The second thing was the extension of her leg. She did not extend her leg back or flex her knee in order to gain more room for acceleration and force. When you extend your leg back and flex your knee, it allows for strain energy to be built up in those muscles like the quadriceps, and it provides for more force when kicking through the ball. The third error that was committed was not having a stiff ankle and kicking off the laces. This is important because momentum travels in a chain, so if it starts off at the hip, it goes through the thigh, the knee, the shin area, and then finally through the ankle. Having a stiff ankle and then flexing it as it goes into the follow-through phase allows for the momentum, or for the foot to act like a whip, so it continues momentum through the soccer kick. For this particular drill, I wanted her to be able to kick the ball with a stiff ankle, so I have her locking her ankle and kicking the ball. Drill number 2, I wanted her to be able to place her foot about 6 inches from the ball and then extend her leg while flexing her knee. For drill number 3, I wanted her to be able to kick the ball off the laces a little bit above the center of the ball. I was actually really happy with how Chantal ended up kicking the ball after I taught her those drills and stuff. In this particular trial, you can see that she took a small running start. She didn't have a long running start, but she at least took a step before she planted her foot. She planted her foot about 6 inches away from the ball. She made sure to extend her leg backwards and flex her knee up, and then kick the ball. Her leg, once it kicked the ball, it followed through also, and she landed on her kicking foot. So that whole process was really good, and I was really happy about that. The only thing I would change is I would make her learn how to kick the ball in the laces, because again, she's kicking it more on the inside of her foot and less on the laces, but overall I was pretty happy with how it turned out.